Okay, welcome to our monthly mindfulness session. This is a time where we can maybe check out of life's busyness for a few minutes, kind of check in here, learn some new tips and tools, perhaps in the space of holistic well-being, which is really about taking care of the whole person, right? Mind, body, and spirit. And then we try some of those, techniques on for size, see what works for us, maybe keep what does and toss the rest. And then of course we always spend a few minutes meditating here in these sessions because as I think I'll mention here in a few minutes, meditation really has been the foundation for me personally in terms of transformation. And so I'm happy you're here. Thank you for being here, and appreciate you catching it live on demand if you're doing that as well. It's an honor for me to be here with you each time. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of routine and like a daily rhythm, establishing this kind of regular daily rhythm. So, with the constant demands and changing schedules and really nonstop connectivity we find ourselves in, it's easy to feel unsteady or out of rhythm. And it's a challenge I think maybe we can all relate to at some point or another. And I have personally found that a steadier day often begins not with doing more, but with creating a rhythm that helps me move through it with greater clarity, energy, and intention. And most of my career, is has been very stressful, right? I've had some pretty stressful roles as an auditor, as an investigator, and working in compliance departments, and now currently in legal affairs. And so keeping a consistent daily rhythm has really helped to support steadier energy, especially during busy and stressful periods, which have seemingly been more and more. And so, what do I mean by rhythm? It's generally just the way we sleep, eat, communicate, focus, recover, and move through the day. And how we do those things can either support balance or pull us away from it. And so I've found creating a steady routine is not about being perfect, right? Or having this kind of rigid schedule that I have to do right every single day. But rather, it's been about creating a few consistent anchors, like around waking, eating, when I work, how I move and when I do that, and winding down at generally the same times every day. And why do we want to do that? So that the body and the mind have more predictability, right? They kind of automatically know when to anticipate when it's going to eat, when it's going to rest, when it's going to move, right? And so I came across the idea of creating this greater steadiness through daily rhythm in my studies of Ayurveda. And so Ayurveda is a traditional system of well-being that emphasizes aligning our routines with nature. And the needs of the body and the mind. And Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga that really looks to kind of focus on lifestyle and aligning with daily seasons or daily rhythms and seasonal rhythms, really kind of looking to tune ourselves in a little bit more to kind of what nature's doing. And Ayurveda teaches us the value of something called dinacharya, which is a supportive daily routine to create this steadiness in the body and the mind for balanced being. Because the belief is that health is built through rhythm, not just our effort, right, or our force of doing it. And when we work with the body's natural rhythms, even in these very small ways, we can support that steadier energy and find that we may focus better, and maybe our digestion works a little bit better, and we enjoy some deeper rest, and most importantly, we find some greater resilience to get through our days. And we can maybe observe that working against rhythm can show up in some small familiar ways as well for us. So like late nights or skipped meals or constant snacking or too much screen time, irregular routines, and just moving from one task to the next, to the next, to the next, right? Without space to pause. That can show up in ways that we then try to compensate for depleted energy. So we may rely on excess caffeine, right? Guilty at times, or sugar, or constant stimulation, or other kind of quick fixes that help us push through the day instead of stopping to ask what the mind and the body actually need. And over time, those patterns will leave the body and the mind feeling scattered and depleted, overstimulated, and out of sync. And if that goes on too long, that out of sync, and scattered and depleted and overstimulated, I can tell you it will manifest in the body through issues and ailments. I've experienced that myself. And so daily routine helps to establish new healthy patterns, create a reliable steadiness to help us navigate life at our best, no matter what is thrown at us. Because those simple routines help to signal safety and consistency to the body. And so many of us, and myself included at times, easily eat and move and live according to emotion and habit, or out of convenience, rather than doing through what we actually or truly need. And Ayurveda reminds us to bring more awareness to how we nourish and care for ourselves so that we become more attuned to the signals of the body and mind to better support our overall well-being. Now, this matters especially for those of us that have these jobs, right? Because of the gobs of stress that come with that at time, too many or too much, again, screens. By nature, we sometimes adopt these irregular routines to get all the work done, and just the constant demands, all of that can pull us away from our natural rhythm. And it's not about rejecting work or ambition or wanting to do things, right? It's about creating simple practices that, again, help us feel better and, again, perform better. And so, myself, having worked in the corporate world for over 30 years, along with having, a very lively, active family life, again, know firsthand how easy it is to become disconnected from our own needs, my own needs, to find myself in a state of overdrive. I've experienced a state of burnout several times, and then bouts with a serious illness here and there, not because I was powerless, but because I had learned to push through and to override my body's signals and then to just keep going. And I came across this saying, I think in the last couple years, that is, if you don't make time for wellness, you will be forced to make time for illness. And that took on new meaning for me after my cancer diagnosis in 2022. I understood clearly at that point that caring for myself could no longer be something I delayed until crisis arrived, right? It opened the door to what I call, refer to as radical self-love. And it's this ongoing practice that asks us to stay devoted to our well-being, to listen to our needs, and to make ourselves a priority to some degree, most every single day. And I studied as an Ayurvedic health coach after my cancer surgery, and I formulated at that point my own daily routine. And from that point, the things that I do most every single day around the same time to help maintain balance are things like waking, right, and sleeping. My meals are generally around the same time every day. Most every single day, I start off with hot water and lemon, right? Just to kind of grease the inside, so to speak. I do morning yoga, meditation, and breath work practice, again, to some degree, almost every single day. It could be maybe just 5 minutes or, upwards of, maybe 20 or 30. Other things I do every day, again, around the same time are like cleansing the body, right? Like shower, bathing, brushing teeth. Breaks I take at the same time every day, usually. And then I try to, again, move my body at the same times. And I created a free daily rhythm handout on helping to establish a few reliable anchors throughout the day. And that is available on the Medha Way website via the resources tab, and then you hit into the learning studio. If you are subscribed to the Meta emailing list, you, I think, will get that as well if you haven't already via email. And the idea is that, again, this simple rhythm can help us reduce the energy that we spend constantly deciding when or whether we should care for ourselves, right? And so over time, with a rhythm, our self-care becomes less of an event and more of a natural part of our daily life, our ability to kind of make well-being a habit bit by bit, right? A little bit at a time. And I want to give a special plug for sleep. The key, I mean, I love sleep myself. The key to a good day, I believe, often begins the night before. And Ayurveda believes this as well, right? Like good sleep is essential. It is not wasted time. It is one of the most important foundations for health, clarity, and resilience that we have. And so a consistent, calmer evening where we find, maybe we can take in less artificial light, we can have lighter activity, and an earlier bedtime on a regular basis. Again, it doesn't have to be all the time, but it should be most of the time. When we establish that kind of sleep routine, it can help prepare the nervous system and the mind for the next day. It is also a key time when our body heals itself in that really deep sleep that we get. So, not only is sleep in general important, but good sleep is especially key. And so, with a good night's sleep, we can continue supporting any kind of rhythm we establish. In terms of small choices for self-care that we weave throughout the day. And we don't have to overhaul our lives overnight, right? We can do a little at a time. This is what I've done over the years is just a little bit, a few minutes, here and there, and then over time, that becomes a steady practice and then something to build off of. And so we can begin with one or two supportive habits to help steady that nervous system, again, our mind and our body. So maybe consider going to bed, again, waking at the same times, maybe establishing a regular morning walk. It doesn't have to be very long, it could just be a 5-minute thing. Or maybe we're every morning just mindfully pausing before we start off and take off on that work day. Perhaps maybe we again have a gentler night routine. But I would encourage trying to protect sleep as a serious part of well-being. So the takeaway, especially for those of us that work and need this kind of work-life balance, is Ayurveda offers a simple but meaningful reminder for us that sustained performance is not created by pushing through every signal from your body, right? And just doing more, 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 but rather by learning to work with the natural rhythms of our body. And so again, these things like stress, too much of it, too much screens, our schedules are too packed, etc. They disconnect, those things disconnect us from our basic needs. And when we bring some awareness to what our days look like, and where we might maybe can make a tweak or two, we can start to create more rhythm from day to day. And the goal is not perfection. Again, it's not to diminish our ambition, It's again designed to create more supportive conditions for the body and the mind so that we can think more clearly and respond more intentionally and sustain some good energy over time. And next month's session, I'll talk in depth about how we can develop micro self-care habits, how we can weave these kind of digestible pieces of wellness into our days. And I'll tell you, it's a lot easier when we have a kind of a consistent daily routine. So, for example, if I know I'm going to take a break at around the same time every day, I can start to put in, a consistent habit in that break time because I know I'm going to have it every day, right? Or if I'm going to do other things consistently throughout the day, perfect opportunities to start to weave in some of this micro self-care. And so again, we'll talk about that in detail in next session. So I'll stop there and we'll move into a little meditation. So, as I mentioned at the onset, meditation is foundational, a foundational self-care practice because it helps us to build awareness, the awareness we need to kind of make some of these changes by training the mind. And why we do it again is that greater awareness is a starting point for stronger focus, better choices, and lasting self-discipline. And there are a variety of meditation resources out there. There's a couple that I like quite a bit. One is Insight Timer. The Insight Timer app has a lot of free resources, all kinds of different guided practice out there. It's a great place to start. YouTube is another great resource as well. If you're starting your meditation practice and you don't, maybe silent meditation doesn't feel as good, lots of guided meditations out there. But the meditation type that I most often teach and I use is mantra meditation. And mantra is a word or a phrase to focus the mind. And when repeated silently, its quote, sound or mental vibration helps to settle the mind and helps to move beyond turbulence that we find up there into a space of quiet awareness. And in the language of Sanskrit, mantra literally translates to mean vehicle of the mind. And so the mantra gives the mind a clear, steady task of, repeating while pairing it with the natural rhythm of the breath. And having something like a word or set of words is like an anchor for us to the present moment. And so it gives our mind something to come back to when it wanders away, because it's always wandering, right? And so, again, mantra helps us when we're trying to do this mental training and, focusing to come back to center. And lastly, the words so hum, which is the mantra that we'll use here, naturally mirrors the sound and rhythm of the breathing. So you might easily hear on the inhale the word so. And you can easily hear when you exhale the word hum. And so that's why I use or teach mostly this mantra meditation, because for me, it has been the most effective meditation type for me to help train and focus the mind. But again, early in my meditation practice, I used a variety of other guided meditations. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and give it a go. We'll settle into a little uh, relaxation, focused awareness here if you're ready. Okay, so I invite you to get comfortable. Make yourselves comfortable. We're looking to find a nice, relaxed yet alert position for our body. You can maybe rest your hands gently in your lap. If palms up feel good, do that. You can also place your palms down on your lap or your legs. Gently let your eyes close. If you do not prefer to close your eyes completely, perfectly fine. Just simply hold a soft downward gaze. The idea is we're trying to minimize distractions. And as we get started, I want you to give yourself permission to let everything around you, everything you've got to do, all of it go just for the next few minutes here. You got nowhere to go, nothing to do, but just be here for the next few minutes. Now bring your attention to your breath. Just follow its natural in and out. We're not trying to force the breath or control it. We're just observing what it's doing, how it's moving. And you may notice a place in your body where you feel your breath the most. Sometimes it's in the belly, it might be in your chest, or maybe in your nose. Wherever it is, just watch your breath move in and out of that place. Now let's take some deeper breaths, really inviting the body to relax just a little bit more. So we are going to inhale and then count that inhale to 4. And then we're going to exhale slowly to a count of 6. So I'll guide you for a couple reps and then we'll do some at our own pace for about a minute. So go ahead and take an inhale in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue at your own pace. On your last exhale, let your breathing return to normal. Now we'll move into our So-Hum meditation. So now, without trying, take one breath in and silently say the word so. And as you breathe out, silently repeat the word hum. Gently and silently repeat without forcing your breath. So, hum. So, hum. So, hum. Continue to allow your breath to flow easily with no effort on your part, just simply watching it and silently repeating so hum with each inflow and outflow of the breath. And whenever you notice that your attention has drifted, as it surely will, to other thoughts in your mind or sensations in your body or sounds that you may hear in your environment, as soon as you notice you've drifted away, just gently return to your breath and silently repeating so hum. And allow that gentle vibration to take you deeper into silence. I'll watch the time. Let us know when to finish. Continue to sit with your eyes closed. And you can release that mental repetition, bring your awareness back into your body, back into the room. Maybe take a deep breath here, wiggling the fingers and the toes, preparing the body to re-engage with the day. But before we do, let's plant some intentions for living a happy, harmonious life. Here are 4 things that we can intend for in our days. And if you like, you can silently repeat them to yourselves. Joyful, energetic body. Loving, compassionate heart. Reflective, alert mind. Lightness of being and laughter. Let those intentions go, and when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Okay. So hopefully that felt good. You felt a little bit of settling down there. Hoping that you can take that bit of calm through the rest of your day, in your weekend. Give you a gentle reminder maybe to look at your current daily routine, see where you may be able to invite a little bit more steadiness, a little bit more regularity into your days. Also check out that daily rhythm handout. And I'll stop there and invite you all to have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you for joining and creating this space for you today. Take care of yourselves. Okay, Lou, I'll stop the recording here.